What's going on, guys? It's ETA Prime back here again. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the all-new Level Up 3/4 size cabinet from Game Room Solutions. So if you watch my channel, you know I absolutely love these 3/4 size cabinets. I got a couple of the Arcade 1-Up, I got the Rec Room Master Alphacade, and now I've finally added the Level Up to my collection. So obviously I chose the Ninja Turtles vinyl here. This is one of my favorite arcade games besides The Simpsons and X-Men. The next 3/4 size arcade I get is definitely going to be something X-Men themed. This cabinet is absolutely beautiful. It's easy to assemble and I expected it because it's coming from Game Room Solutions. I also own a horizontal bar top and vertical bar top from them, and I've never been disappointed in the past. They offer a few kit variants, so you can just pick up the cabinet if you want without any graphics, buttons, or a Raspberry Pi, or you can add all of that stuff. There's tons of different options on the website. I'll leave links in the description if you're interested in checking them out. The price on these starts at $379. That's with shipping included, so you don't have to pay any extra for shipping. And I know it sounds expensive to some people, but if you don't have any tools, space, or know-how, it's probably worth just buying something like this. Assembly is super easy on these kits. Game Room Solutions uses a cam locking system so you don't have to cut anything or drill anything. This is not an assembly video. They do have one over on their official YouTube channel, and I'll leave links in the description to that just in case you pick one up and you need to know exactly how to assemble it. They have clear instructions over there. These do not come with the display, so you're going to have to pick one up. I chose a ViewSonic 22-inch from Amazon. I think it was $98. I chose the IPS version. It doesn't have any glare on it, and it looks great inside of this Plexi. I'm always worried about ordering a display for my arcade cabinets because I'm never sure if it's going to fit. Then I'd have to return it, find something else. I'm going to leave a link to the one that I have in the description. I got it on Amazon. It works fine and it fits perfectly. The hardest part about the whole assembly was cutting the T-molding to fit the marquee perfectly. Now they do send you extra, so in case you mess up the first time, you can always recut, but I just kind of left it like it was. I cut mine a little too short. The package I chose came with real Sanwa sticks and hat button clones. Now I know this is a weird combination for some people, but I like the way it feels on a small cabinet like this. Works fine. The encoder is from Zenmo. It's a 2-player USB encoder. Works fine with PC or the Raspberry Pi. I haven't tested it on the XU4 yet, but I'm sure it would probably work. They also offer plexiglass to go over your control panel vinyl so you don't scratch it up. And speaking of the control panel, it is hinged. You have some space in here. You can fit your Raspberry Pi down in here just fine. Now I opted not to use a Pi in this build. I'm actually using a small form factor PC from ASRock, and I'm running big box instead of RetroPie. Now these were designed with RetroPie in mind, but it doesn't mean you can't throw a PC in here. Personally, I wanted a little more power out of it so I could do Killer Instinct, some Naomi, Atomic Wave, and some other higher end arcade games that the Raspberry Pi just can't handle. But if all you have is a Pi, it's going to work fine in here. Moving around to the back side, it does have a hinged door. Got my ViewSonic 22-inch IPS display here, amp, 2 speakers, and I also have my PC mounted to the side of the cabinet. This is the ASRock A300 with a 200GE APU, 8 GB of RAM. It's perfectly capable of doing GameCube, Naomi, Atomic Wave, and a ton of other higher end systems that the Pi just can't handle. That's why I opted to throw it in this cab. As for cable management, it's really up to you. I actually ran out of zip ties and my sticky holder, so I really can't do much until I get some more from Amazon. Before I get into a little bit of gameplay, I did want to do kind of a size comparison here. On the far left and the far right are Arcade 1-Up cabinets, the 3/4 cabinets you can buy from Walmart. Then we have the Alphacade from Rec Room Masters. This houses a 19-inch monitor or television. The control panel can easily fit 2 adults sitting side by side, so you're not bumping shoulders the whole time, so it's much wider than the Arcade 1-Ups. And then finally, the Level Up cabinet from Game Room Solutions. Now it is the tallest of the bunch, but you might notice that the Alphacade's control panel sits up a little taller, which I like because I'm not scrunched over so much. But the Level Up cabinet does have a wider control panel area, and the buttons are spaced out a little better than all of these cabs, and it houses the biggest display at 22 inches. It's really hard for me to say which one is the best out of the Level Up and the Alphacade. I like both of them. The Alphacade does come with real hat buttons and sticks right out of the box. You're going to be spending about the same on each of these getting it all set up. So in the end, it's really up to you. But what I can say is if you're looking for a do-it-yourself 3/4 size arcade machine, you're not going to go wrong with the Alphacade or the Level Up. The Arcade 1-Up machines are great in my opinion. They're readily available at your local Walmart. They're about $300. You can bring it home, put it together in 30 minutes, and start playing the 2 to 3 games that are pre-installed on it. If you're looking for a do-it-yourself kit, I would go with a better kit like the Level Up or the Alphacade. So here it is in action. Like I mentioned, I'm not running a Raspberry Pi in here. This is a full-blown x86 PC running big box. I got pretty much everything I ever want to play on here, but I'm mainly going to be focusing on this arcade section. Now this is going to be sectioned out in different developers, different categories here. And yes, this will run Naomi, it'll run Atomis Wave, it'll do GameCube, it'll do even PSP if that's something you want to do on your arcade cabinet. I'm just going to go to the Konami section and start up a Ninja Turtles game. Everything's super smooth on this 200 GE, only 8 GB of DDR4 RAM, it's running at 2666 MHz. I recently made a video on the PC that I'm running in here showing it off a little bit, and in that video I claimed that it could very well be the best new parts arcade PC that I've found. It's pretty cheap for what you're getting here, and it runs everything you'll need on an arcade cabinet. I also have the second player control set up. I just want you to see that it does work inside of Windows. No issues here. You do have to map all of your buttons inside of MAME or whatever emulator that you're running, but it does work. One of the things I really like about this cabinet is the control panel. The space between player 1 and player 2 is definitely sufficient for 2 adults to sit side by side instead of bumping shoulders or elbows the whole time like you would on an arcade 1-up. It's not as large as a 32-inch cabinet, but it definitely gets the job done. I'm just going to go ahead and run a few of my favorite arcade games here. Overall, this is definitely a solid choice if you're looking for a smaller cab. Now, these were designed with the Raspberry Pi in mind, RetroPie Recall box. You could even throw an XU4 in here, but I went ahead and opted to do a PC, and it's totally possible to do that. You could start with a Pi, upgrade to a PC down the road, run Hyperspin, Big Box, or your favorite front end. Build quality is great, it's easy to assemble, and this thing will definitely take a beating. I did mention it for a second, but there are 2 USB ports on the front, so you can go ahead and plug in 2 extra controllers or whatever else you want to plug in, like a light gun or something like that. But you could have 4 people playing on this cab very easily. If anybody's interested in picking one of these up, I'm going to leave links in the description to Game Room Solutions. I'll also leave links to their YouTube channel where it shows you a full assembly guide. It's super easy to follow. And I do want to mention this again because every time I do a cabinet review, I get people saying, why don't you just build your own? It's going to be cheaper. If you have the space, know-how, time, and tools, yes, this could definitely be cheaper. But for people who don't have the time or the tools, it can end up being more expensive. And there's no way that Lowe's or Home Depot is going to cut out your cabinet for you. So for some people, purchasing a pre-built unit is the only option they really have. And for me personally, I'd rather just purchase a kit. I could definitely build something like this in my garage, no problem at all, but I really don't have the time to do it. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you watching. The Level Up 3/4 size cabinet from Game Room Solutions is an awesome option if you're looking for a small form factor arcade cabinet around 3/4 scale. And if you'd rather just build your own, just do a quick Google search for arcade cabinet blueprints. They're all over the place for free. You can even buy some if you really want to do that. Don't forget to check out the video links in the description. I've done a few other reviews on Game Room Solutions and Rec Room Master arcade cabinets. I'll leave them down below. I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button, maybe subscribe to the channel, and like always, thanks for watching.